everybody? Thank you so much for coming back to another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about Child's Play. So in this video we're going to be talking about not the newest Child's Play that came out now in 2019, which I am very excited to see and have not seen yet, but will be seeing very, very shortly. Some things just kind of got me backed up on that. However, we're going to be talking about the original, the one that started it all, the one that made Chucky an icon in horror, and yeah, let's get into it. So I think the first thing I should say right out of the gate is that I am a huge fan of Chucky as a character and his films. Now, with that said, they are the pinnacle, I think, of what a B horror film should be and can be. They're not great. They're not in any way some kind of films that are groundbreaking as far as narrative or, character. It really is not that kind of series, and these are not those kinds of films. A lot of times when you go back and rewatch a lot of these iconic horror franchises like the Friday the 13th franchise or the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise or the Halloween franchise, this one, the Hellraisers, there are installments that are just your typical generic trope-filled horror films that really have nothing to offer other than dumb characters that make dumb decisions that go and get themselves killed. And at the end of the day, you're really just watching those films for the iconic horror characters. Chucky, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers, Jason. That's really why you're watching, and for the over-the-top silly kills. So I just wanted to say all that right out of the gate so you guys recognize that I am fully aware that these Chucky films are not in any way some sort of groundbreaking great films, but they are a lot of fun, and I think the character of Chucky drives this franchise 100%. So if you have no idea what Chucky is about and you only just know that he's a doll and he's a killer doll, but you have no idea what it's about, I'm just going to give a general synopsis of the film and really what it's about so you guys can know a little bit more, and hopefully it interests you in going and check it out yourself. So Child's Play opens up with a character named Charles Lee Ray, who is known for strangulations. He's just a serial killer in general. He's running away from a police officer. He ends up running into his toy store. He ends up getting shot and uses voodoo to get himself inside the doll. That is the quick and just sweet and simple version of what I can say as far as this film goes. Yes, essentially you have this serial killer who knows voodoo, who is about to die and was able to transfer his soul into a doll, and he's now trying to get his soul out of the doll because the longer he stays in the doll, the more he becomes human, and then he'll be trapped inside the doll. And the general gist is whoever the first person he revealed himself to since he became a doll, whoever that person is the soul that he needs to take. That's the body he has to take. He can't take anybody else's body. He can't put his mind into anybody else's body. He has to put himself into the mind and the body of that one person that he showed for the first time. And in this case, it's a young boy named Andy, who we end up following from the second and third film as well. And yeah, that's the general concept. You have a guy, a serial killer inside of a doll who wants out, who put himself in there via voodoo and is trying to use voodoo to get himself out. And he hides at the doll at times. Sometimes he kills people. Sometimes he plays the part of a doll, and it's got this creepy, tense vibe to it. But for the most part, what I could say about this film is it's not necessarily scary going back and rewatching it. It never really was a franchise that really scared me. There are creepy moments as far as just Chucky in general, where I think it's hard to watch it and not think, oh, that's a little creepy, but you're not necessarily scared. I think it depends on the person. If you're already afraid of dolls and that kind of concept already freaks you out, you may not be a little bit creeped out from it a little bit more. But I think what makes these films fun is the character of Chucky is just really wacky, over the top, and he's just funny. He's just kind of gross. He's kind of grotesque in what he says a lot of times. He's really crude, really rude, and you have to be into that kind of film and these characters to even enjoy this kind of film. What I'll say right out of the gate is, as much as I enjoy this film and I may recommend it, I don't think it's a film that is for everybody, and I really don't think that everybody's going to enjoy the humor, the vibe, the overall, what appeals a lot of people to Chucky, what really gets people into Chucky is not going to work for everybody. He's a very over-the-top, just very crude. Just as the film goes on, he's just very big potty mouth, just like a very just nasty, rude character, and he doesn't care about anything else other than killing people. He just loves to kill people, and so that's a really sick and crazy vibe and tone. But I think that these films balance just a great sense of just B horror, just dumb characters doing dumb things, characters you really don't care about, but I feel like they're entertaining. The character of Chucky keeps it fun and wacky, and the kills are always fun to see how he does them. You look back and there's definitely a lot of dated elements in some of the older films like this one. There's just over the top moments where people get hit one time and they're stumbling for 10 years and they fly out a window. It's like, really, you could have avoided that 100%. Like, that was the most over the top death ever. But I think that there's still a charm to this film. I think that for movie history and just who Chucky is and who he's become as far as just an icon of horror, to go back and rewatch this film, you can see why he's just so iconic. And on top of that, on top of it being just a typical B horror film where you have these characters that you don't care about too much, but they're entertaining enough to see what's happening with them, with Chucky in the mix, because Chucky is really what keeps it entertaining. I think really what makes this films amazing is the way they were able to bring Chucky to life, whether it's using little people in suits or using, you know, animatronics, or using just various different screen techniques, or just, you know, camera angles, in order to make him, you know, make the effect work, make him feel creepy, make him look like a doll in so many scenes, make him feel and move like a doll. And, you know, the voice who does him, Brad Dourif, I believe is how his name is pronounced, who ends up doing him for all of the 7 original Chucky films. Yeah, I love his voice. He's what I think of when I think of Chucky. His laugh, his vibe, his just overall just nonchalantness of being Chucky. He really commits to the role, and I think they execute on Chucky being so awesome in every film and being that iconic horror character, whether the rest of the film is great or not, whether the characters matter or not, whether you care about them or not. These are the pinnacle for me when it comes to B horror films that are just dumb and silly to watch, but just, you know, filled with a really interesting character, which being Chucky. And I think that this film is very tame compared to where the franchise ends up going. I think a lot of people could watch this and not really expect how raunchy or just kind of grotesque or just kind of stupid a lot of the sequels would end up getting. But I think for this first film, I think that there is a great sense of tension at times. There is some great cinematography and some interesting stuff done. But I think what really makes this film, again, is the special effects that were used to make Chucky come to life and really make him feel like a creepy doll. Like I said, the various techniques they used really make you never feel like he's not a doll, even when he's moving. You never really get out of that mentality. And I think they do an amazing job visually of bringing this character to life and making him feel very real and tangible within this universe. So yeah, guys, that's going to be my review for the first Child's Play. I am planning on doing all of these films. I'm really excited to do this in full series now that I have this 7-movie collection and been rewatching them this week. I just feel inspired to do them, and I know the new Child's Play is in theaters right now, so I wanted to do all these, and then I'm going to check that one out and do a review for it as well. So let me know what your thoughts down below. Do you like Child's Play? Do you like Chucky as a character? Did you grow up with the character? Are you scared of him? All those kinds of things. I'm very curious what you guys have to say about this film. Like I said, I recognize that it's not a great film objectively, but there's just a charm to it, and if you're a fan of dumb horror films like I am, I think you'll have a good time watching this franchise as a whole if you've never seen it. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you guys hit that like button, comment down below, let me know, subscribe if you guys have not already subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!